So thinking back to childcare around the time of the pandemic, childcare was already a system that wasn't doing that well, but when COVID happened, it really made things worse.
Well, when the COVID first hit, we began having Monday morning meetings with all of the agencies that I felt like would be, in need or servicing or be needed in providing services to the citizens of Tarrant County. And early on, it became clear that, especially for your essential workers, that a lot of the child care facilities were closing down and they had nowhere to take their kids.
When our government responded and put some dollars forward for communities struggling to recover from some of the issues of COVID, so we knew exactly what we wanted to do. And one of those key initiatives is the Prime Early Learning Pilot. So what's this pilot really all about? What we're trying to do is right-size the dollars that are going to a high-quality program in a high-need neighborhood, serving both working families and particularly low-income working families. We have gone in with economists, we have gone in with some of the top policy think tanks in the country and saying, if we're going to use taxpayer dollars, then gosh darn it, let's use them well. And what needs to happen? What needs to fundamentally change so that we pay for childcare that's delivered in a high-quality way without increasing costs?
The funding for childcare, as it currently is flawed because childcare businesses were formed to provide custodial care while parents were working. Now, in the last 20 years, what happened was this huge literature on brain development in the first 5 years of a child's life. And as a result, now we want childcare to be that place where there is this emphasis on early development as well. But the funding mechanism was not designed for that.
So the Prime Early Learning Pilot provides foundational grants in the form of a contract to TRS-4 programs in Tarrant County. The contracts are made up of 3 specific areas. The first area addresses fixed costs associated with operating a child care program. The second area addresses a compensation offset for child care teachers, so we're able to pay them a minimum of $18 an hour. And the final bucket addresses the funded priorities that are unique to the community. In this community, we have prioritized seats for infants and toddlers. We're also hoping to support child care centers that provide seats for children with special needs and that also provide seats for children of child care educators. We hope that we're able to just stabilize child care businesses in general and that we're able to meet the needs of our community. In order for the child care programs to remain in the Prime Pilot, we require that they maintain their TRS-4 status and that they continue to operate in a high-need area. Other contract requirements include that they maintain of their enrollment, 20% of the children in their programs are eligible for child care scholarships. We also require that they continue to pay their teachers $18 an hour throughout the duration of the project. They must serve infants or toddlers. We also require that they conduct developmental screeners for all children that are enrolled in the program and that they participate in class quality assessments and coaching.
The Prime Pilot is demonstrating how we can transform the system by investing back into these programs and back into the educators that nurture our young children. The pilot's already making an impact for our programs and in the lives of child care educators and families. We're excited to be able to lift this up as a model for large-scale change.
So Sunrise has really changed since the Prime program. I have staff that receive CDAs. The business coaching is amazing. I love it.
One thing, it helps the staff to be able to come in. They're able to have gas because usually they do paycheck to paycheck, I've noticed. The staff was able to get CDAs. I went and got my CDA. So not only just the staff, I was able to get mine also.
My program has changed tremendously in a good way since I've been a part of the Prime Pilot program. So you walk around as a business owner and it just changed the culture when you have the funds and you're not reaching, trying to figure out your day-to-day activities with the children. And you still are able to thrive.
They have helped us get families off the waiting list from Tarrant County CCMS, and that right there has been a great plus for me because I utilize that piece of the program all the time.
My enrollment has changed since I've been a part of the Prime Pilot program because at first I wasn't able to take on infants because of the simple fact that the cost of taking on infants. But since I've been a part of the Prime Pilot program, I've been motivated to take infants, and then with the next phase of the program, I've taken on 3 infants, and it's good.
Some of the resources that the Prime Pilot offers to our child care providers include business coaching and advising, as well as some programmatic supports. The business advising and coaching comes in a variety of ways. It really is tailored to the needs of that individual business.
One valuable coaching that I've learned, again, is budgeting. I've always did budget, but like I said, I never looked at it on a day-to-day basis. Now with the finances, the way that they are, and finances versus expense, now I'm able to see where I can cut back to make sure that my revenue stay on point.
You know, as a result of the Prime Pilot, and that was something that we were able to fund with ARPA funds, I think this can really be a defining moment as we move forward, because what it's going to allow us to do is to see the impact that, one, raising the teachers' salaries and showing that we have a higher quality of a child care there and the effect that that has on the kids, while at the same time allowing the parents to not have to pay as much. I mean, today, in today's environment, you're paying more for child care than what I paid for my kids' college tuition.
Pilots are really only useful if we learn from them. And our job moving forward is to help policymakers and others understand what have we learned on the ground by listening to early educators, by listening to working families, paying attention to the data. And we're finding over and over again, reinforced, there's something in the secret sauce about compensating the program, helping offset the fixed costs of the program. So where do we go from here? Child Care Associates is going to be having critical conversations with other communities, with policymakers, with state agency leaders, to help them understand what we think is a fundamental building block, not a silver bullet, but a fundamental building block that says, where do we go from here? Texas, we can do better by working families, we can do better for our youngest Texans, and we can make sure that our early educators are well compensated.
As we look at all of this process, what's coming out of COVID is just more of an emphasis on how important quality child care is. And in Texas, if 1 out of every 10 children in this country live in Texas, then Texas has got to do a better job of making sure that we've created a level playing field so these kids can succeed, because it's our future.
The old system is broken. Wages are not livable, and child care programs cannot survive on the existing business model. I hope other communities can learn from the Prime Pilot's findings and build a system that works for families and communities throughout Texas and across the country.